Hello all, welcome back to Geek Feng Shui. I'm your host and game master, Bob Sellers Jr. Shout out to our friends at Cat Good Brewing here in Castle Manor, Under Pressure in Golden Valley and South by Southeast in beautiful Pine Island, or venues of similar family, pet, kid, fun-friendly venues near you who try to fit themselves to your family, not to some sports bar-esque type environment by any means. They have the fun, the family, the pets are allowed, sometimes only outside, depending upon the food rules. But they'll definitely have calendars filled with events, both with the holidays and non-holidays to check out. Dungeons and Dragons, for example, Magic the Gathering, trivia. We had a great time at trivia the other night, and fun things like that. And on Saturdays, you can do yoga here in Castle Manor. We'll not get judged if you drink before, during, or after, because as we all know, yoga under the influence, pure entertainment, particularly video, photo evidence. Just saying. Check out my books at sellersjr.com, my overall website, geekfengshui.com, and this channel, which I appreciate if you like, subscribe, and setting of the bell. So this is a Dalaran Wintergrasp when you're not high enough level to be here. So the first step is to find a mage that can port you here, which can be tricky at times, and tip them well. So what I do is I come in when I get here, and this is the Alliance side, obviously. And I set my home hearth here. Now, a word of warning, when certain releases of new, I think Legion removed this next room I'm going to show you. Now, this is much like Shattereth, there's portals to all the capital cities, including Shattereth. So once you get here, when you get to there, you can go down and visit over here. This is the Wintergrasp person, NPC, and you want to check that, as you may or may not have seen because I flash it so quick. It'll tell you, even though you can't queue for it, the next battle is an hour and 51 away. The reason that's important is if a battle's going on or starts while we're doing what's coming up next, you will be put back into Dalaran. We'll get to that in a minute. So once you set your hearth, then you want to make sure you get the flight point. Much like Shattereth and some of the other ones in this area, you don't necessarily get a quick link. So there's two ways to get to this region, referred to as Northrend, is you can either take a boat from Stormwind, which I believe takes you over here. Mantle Harbor takes you over here. So when you come to level up in these areas, you kind of meet in the middle eventually, which is Dalaran. You want to come up and get the flight point. And this is where, and I already had it, so it says no flights. So also where you get winter flying. Now in the case of this at the moment, that is cold weather flying, which you don't get till 77. It's 1,000 gold. That would be to fly in this area. So you're going to be ground pounding it for much of it. So now there's one flight point that is tricky to get, and that's Wintergrasp. We really can't ride into it as easily as you might like to. To be honest, I don't think there is a way to ride into it, but there is a way. It's not hardcore. You kind of get to do the proverbial swan dive from Dalaran and die, and then you're in certain parts of Northrend. There's your corpse will be allowed to fly. Oops, I want to do mountain when I do this. And there's spirit guides. There are 2 flight points in Wintergrasp, one for Horde, one for Alliance. Depending on who owns the fort, or during the battle, there's a spirit guide in the fort, but they're not there all the time. What I'm gonna do is come down over here and enjoy the wicked view. Wintergrasp is over in this direction. And this is where you say, yay! Boom. Now, if you time it right, you can get to a point where you can fly. Otherwise, you have to get by the mountains. Now you got to watch your map. Make sure you're going in the right direction, which I'm not. Now, a lot of people, I did in the past too, you can do herbing and mining between the battles. It's a small area that they have many respawns, so it's a good place to do that, but it's also a PvP zone. So I'm not sure on a PvE server. I think that's still the case. So you can get ganked. But if you own it, which we don't, if you owned it, there would be a little icon up on the top of the screen that would give you the Wintergrasp buff. So we can't use a portal, because normally if you own it, then you can go into the port and port back up too. Oh, I forgot to show you the mechanism. Let me go back and do that after we do this. To get to Dalaran, you have to go. There's a portal that, if you come from the ground, you can't take it till you're 74. But if you're in Dalaran and take it down, then you can take it up. There's no restriction on that. This is the Wintergrasp fort. Save myself some. You can bounce around inside the fort. You want to? One thing you used to be able to do is you used to be able to come in without having a queue, and you could fly over the mountain and drop in on the people that own the fort, which was fun. This is the inside of the fort. You have the gun placements up above there during the battle. To get in, you have to knock down a door or a wall. There's two vendors over here that will have PvP gear stuff, because every battle you play, whether you win or lose, you'll get a quest to get more of the PvP talent tokens you can turn in for gear. Surprisingly, the Alliance owns this enough. Normally on a heavy horde server, unless a horde to have alternates just to take it away, because you get points for defending as well as attacking. So this side, the horde flight points on the other side. There's cemeteries, but they don't, outside of battle, you don't get to use them. And this is the Alliance fort. Again, if you're a horde, that's going to be on the opposite side. Oops. I didn't have to cancel. You're automatically, and see, there's a druid somewhere. So now you can come get the flight point. Now, most of these are level 80.
What's up?
This one is tied to Dalaran. But you can see the different areas that you can do fishing, you can do mining, and you can do herbing. Its own little infrastructure area, and I don't think you can get in here unless you ride over the mountains. Maybe I don't think you can. Somebody can probably correct me on that. That's by far the easiest way. You just jump off and enjoy the long drop. Because you see Dalaran's elevated. You can't get there. And that's where my corpse landed down there. But once in spirit form, you can go around to different areas and as you take damage. And a little debuff for 10 minutes that reduces your damage and armor and all your stuff significantly. But you don't get that when you res in Wintergrasp. Now, if you happen to be going over to do that, and the battle starts, you get teleported back to Dalaran. There's no way for your wisp to do the big jump, so you have to res up in Dalaran, and I think that does give you the buff. So now we'll go to how to get to the portal. So when you come up here, this is a little triangle thing. You click on and it takes you down to the ground level. This you can't do until you either reach 74 or come down from Dalaran. Those obvious things. So one of the funnier things is when Legion came out, and I'll take you over and go through the Shattereth, because we might as well get that flag point over here. So remember, I set my hearth to Dalaran. Shattereth is another light point you want to get for when you go there. And this is the flight point for Shattereth. Now the difference between the two is just a little bit how they're laid out. Many people just go to Shattereth. When Legion came out, there was yet another capital ahead, so they took all of the portals that you see. So here, they're kind of grouped together. The three, Darnassus, Stormwind, and Ironforge. There is an island of Quanay, which I don't remember. We'll try it and see what it does. You have to be a certain level, I think. And that doesn't tell you. Let me Google that real quick. Spelled it well. Level 70. Now the island of Quanay was an interesting add-on that they did, where they both factions play. It's a lot like Wintergrasp of sorts, but the more quests you turned in, whether you're Alliance or Horde, it opened up different parts. Now in my case, at the time I did it originally, I was on a heavy Horde server, so we would fly in as Alliance and the whole island would be basically red because it was full of Horde. It was quite difficult, so we call it the Isle of Gank. Which of course I will show off that when I do a video from Red Baroness, who could go there. And over here you have Exodar, or the Blood Elves, and then over there you have Horde. But that is how you can get yourself situated to travel in areas that you normally wouldn't be able to get to. This character is not in Northrend yet, or Outland, but she can get there when she does. And it's fairly easy to go and do a /who and find what mages and ask them if they might come in the port and tip them good and add them to your friends list, and the next characters you do it will be able to get there. So I just wanted to do a short video on how to do that. And I want to get back to Dalaran. Now the advantage of Dalaran is also that you have a full or a small area where you have banks, you have the auction house. I think you have the shared auction house as well. And then for mages, you have the purple parlor. Well, I don't know if this is for mages, we'll go up and look. But there's a parlor for warlocks, mages. Even up there yet. Yeah. So the purple parlor, you have because I'm not high enough level. You have all the different dungeons. Now, with Wintergrasp, when you own it, there's a dungeon that you can only get access to outside of the looking for group that is under there. But with looking for group now, putting in there, you don't. Used to be you had to wait till you own it to do it, get it done, and that's not the case anymore. So anyway, thought I would share the fun of doing that. But yeah, it's fun getting characters set up for Cataclysm. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Hopefully they'll leave it at Cataclysm. I hope they don't push it through to Panda and all that, because then you're just kind of defeating the purpose of having, to me, but and again, who am I? But anyway, I'm looking forward to Cataclysm now. I've gotten in the beta. I'll do a video of that. But have fun. Check out Canada Good Brewing here in Castle Manorville, Under Pressure in Golden Valley, and South by Southeast and beautiful Pine Island. There are venues of similar nature near you and yours. Family, pet, kid, fun-friendly places. Whether you bring the fun or family and pets and find them there, if they're there and you're not, you have to wonder why. Unless you're going to bring up to do yoga on Saturdays, because it used to be Sunday. Here in Castle Manorville, we don't judge if you drink before, during, or after. And you know, yoga under the influence is pure entertainment. Particular video and photo evidence, just saying. Check out my books at sellersdr.com, my overall website, geekfengshui.com, this channel, which we appreciate every like. Did I say like? I think I said like. Please like. Set the bell, subscribe, and feel free to leave commentary, but it is moderated, so there is that, given the troll invasion that we had not long ago. But have a good one. We'll see you in the next video.